In this video, we're going to take a hard look at what could happen by August 1st when sweeping new tariffs, whether fully implemented or not, are set to push prices higher and tighten supplies on everyday essentials, and major disruptions are coming. I'm going to walk you through 7 key items you should stock up on now before prices jump or shelves start to empty. If you're new to this channel, my name is Chris, and on this channel we discuss emergency preparedness, aka prepping. Now, you might not personally use all the items I'm about to mention, but it's still important to pay close attention. These 7 categories, they really represent the most likely to affect the widest range of consumers. But the list, it's not final. The specific products facing new tariffs or restrictions could still change as negotiations remain ongoing, and announced rates, dates, or targets, they may be revised. And while these are the items of greatest concern right now, other categories may be added quickly. When prices rise in these areas, they tend to influence related sectors as well, even when supplies elsewhere appear stable. The connection between a new tariff and what you pay at the register is not always simple or immediate. Often, pressure builds quietly in the background before it shows up in the store. And many other imports could also be affected, including copper, vehicle components, semiconductors, and consumer electronics. But these 7 are expected to cause the most noticeable and immediate impact. And none of these guarantees a price spike or shortage. Much is going to depend on how quickly markets, products, and governments adjust. Some changes could hit fast, while others may take longer or be softened by last-minute interventions. Still, it's wise to prepare for the most visible disruptions now. Here are the 7 items that you are most likely to notice first. Coffee. Brazil supplies roughly 1/3 of all coffee consumed in the United States, making it a vital cornerstone of our morning routines. Now, coffee drinkers could soon wake up to a significant shock. The threat of an unprecedented 50% tariff on Brazilian imports set to kick in on August 1st. Negotiations are ongoing and things could change before that date, but the impact on prices is already being felt on just the announcement of the potential tariffs. Even just the announcement has already rattled markets, sending coffee futures soaring more than 3.5% almost immediately. But the tariff threat is not the only factor putting stress on coffee supplies. This year's retail coffee prices are already up 18%, driven by poor harvest, environmental impacts, and ongoing global supply chain strains. If the tariff takes effect, U.S. coffee roasters will have a tough choice. They will either have to absorb rising costs or quickly shift to other suppliers like Colombia, Honduras, or Vietnam. And each of these alternatives presents its own challenges. Vietnam, for example, is already facing a 25% tariff under the same policy, and Colombia's capacity is limited. These pressures are going to ripple across the entire supply chain, likely pushing prices even higher and possibly leading to short-term shortages. Coffee is especially vulnerable because it is consumed daily by so many households. Even the hint of a shortage can trigger panic buying, which drives up prices and clears store shelves faster than they can be restocked. Inventory and supply on hand are also factors. Some processors might be well stocked right now, and others might be stocking up ahead of any imposed tariffs. This will result in fluctuations in supply and demand. And with Brazil playing such a dominant role and backup suppliers also under stress, the situation is fragile. Combined with weather and labor issues already affecting the industry this year, these new disruptions make a compelling case to act now. Buying ahead of time could mean the difference between a steady supply and a costly scramble later. Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this YouTube ad-free video. Ever wondered how safe your online activity really is, especially when connecting from public Wi-Fi at airports, cafes, hotels, or even just at home? Surfshark VPN has you covered, ensuring your personal data stays completely secure and private from hackers, snoopers, and even intrusive advertisements, no matter where you connect. As preppers, we know the importance of privacy and security, especially online. And with Surfshark VPN, it helps you keep your online communication secure, ensuring your preparedness, plans, purchases, and sensitive information remain private and protected. It shields your identity from prying eyes, safeguarding critical details about your preparations and family safety. Surfshark isn't just about privacy and online security. With their comprehensive Surfshark One package, you'll also get Surfshark Alert, which instantly notifies you if your personal information appears in any data leaks online, allowing you to act quickly. Additionally, Surfshark Antivirus provides robust protection, safeguarding all of your devices from harmful malware, viruses, and other cyber threats, ensuring complete peace of mind. There's zero risk. They offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just go to surfshark.com/city and use code CITY to get an extra 4 months for free. The link's in the description and pinned comment below. Orange juice. After coffee, another breakfast staple under growing pressure is orange juice. Brazil provides between 60 to 73% of the orange juice consumed in the United States, making it a key part of the morning routine for millions of households. With the 50% tariff on the table for August 1st, the market's already reacting. Orange juice futures have climbed about 6% since the announcement alone, a clear sign that traders expect a severe disruption. Orange juice is not easily replaced. Florida's citrus output remains low due to past storms and crop disease, and a few global producers have the ability to cover Brazil's share. Mexico might have helped fill the gap, but it now faces a possible 30% tariff as well. That narrows the options and increases the chance of rising prices or limited availability. Since orange juice is so prevalent in daily life, even minor disruptions can lead to significant changes in consumer behavior. Higher prices or signs of lower supply could lead to panic buying of other items, further straining the system. And to avoid that scramble, it's smart to stock up on shelf-stable, frozen, or concentrated options now. A small step today could prevent a bigger problem later. Fruits and vegetables. Fresh fruits and vegetables are some of the most perishable and sensitive items in our food supply. Mexico provides a significant share of this produce, including tomatoes, avocados, peppers, berries, and leafy greens. With a 30% tariff on Mexican imports set to take effect on August 1st, shoppers across the United States could soon face higher prices and product shortages. Now, produce cannot be stored for long periods. It must be picked, shipped, and sold quickly. And that short shelf life makes it highly vulnerable to disruption. Even small slowdowns at the border caused by added inspections, paperwork delays, or tariff enforcement can lead to empty product aisles within days. And even if the tariffs are delayed or negotiated down, the uncertainty alone could spark stockpiling, logistical slowdowns, and early price increases. Now, at the same time, California is facing its own crisis. As the country's top source of domestically grown produce, California farms are essential, but many are now struggling to maintain their workforce. Labor unrest among Californian farm workers, prompted by recent immigration enforcement actions and underscored by last week's strike, continues to slow agricultural output. And this comes at a critical time as California produces over 1/3 of the nation's vegetables and nearly half of its fruits and nuts. We're a land of fruits and nuts here. With domestic harvesting already strained and tariffs threatening key imports from Mexico, the risk of produce shortages and rising prices remains high. Many farm workers are undocumented or have undocumented family members. So in response to recent crackdowns, thousands have already walked off the job. And this is happening at a critical time in the harvest season, putting even further pressure on the food system. Now, trade complications with Mexico combined with ongoing labor instability in California, it really pose a serious threat to the availability of fresh produce. Prices are likely to increase, and some fruits and vegetables may be more difficult to find. And the situation is not confined to a single state or region, as disruptions have the potential to spread quickly throughout the entire country. To lessen the impact, now is the time to consider stocking up on frozen, canned, or shelf-stable alternatives. Supporting local farms and markets where possible can also help. A little early preparation may go a long way to avoid stress later if the supply tightens further in the weeks ahead. Pharmaceuticals, EU. The European Union supplies a significant share of the medications used in daily life in the United States. Now, this includes everything from specialized prescriptions to common over-the-counter drugs. A proposed 30% tariff scheduled to take effect on August 1st with Europe now threatens that steady flow. And while negotiations are still underway, prices are already showing signs of rising. Pharmaceutical supply chains are fragile, and most medications cannot be stockpiled in large quantities due to storage needs and limited shelf life. Even small delays at ports could quickly create shortages. And that becomes a serious problem for anyone who depends on daily medications like insulin, heart drugs, or blood pressure treatments. And if supplies become scarce, the risk of panic buying, it increases. Pharmacies don't typically carry a large amount of extra inventory, so sudden demand can cause shelves to empty quickly. Shortages can lead to price spikes and reduce access to essential care for many Americans. Now is the time to plan ahead. And if you rely on regular medications, I would really encourage you to discuss with your doctor the possibility of obtaining a longer prescription. Consider stockpiling up on over-the-counter items while they are still widely available. These small steps now can help protect your health if supply lines are disrupted in the weeks ahead. Automotive components and vehicles, EU and Mexico. The U.S. automotive industry depends heavily on parts and vehicles imported from the European Union and Mexico. Now, these regions supply everything from high-end cars and electronics to basic components used in everyday repairs. And with 30% tariffs set to take effect on August 1st, the system that keeps American vehicles on the road is facing serious strain. Even before any tariffs are enforced, uncertainty has already begun to affect supply chains. Auto manufacturing runs on just-in-time delivery, meaning there is very little inventory on hand. Any disruption at ports or borders can quickly lead to shortages of key parts. Repair shops and dealerships, they're starting to feel the impact, especially as they attempt to replenish inventory ahead of potential delays. And this is driving up costs before the tariffs even begin. Consumers may soon find that basic maintenance takes longer and costs more. New car prices could also climb as dealers adjust to tighter supply. So to prepare, it makes sense to get ahead of any needed vehicle maintenance now. Stocking up on items such as filters, fluids, bulbs, or replacement parts can help you avoid both delays and higher prices in the months ahead. Semiconductors global. Semiconductors are at the heart of nearly every modern technology, including phones, vehicles, medical devices, and home appliances. And although the market is just beginning to recover from recent disruptions, new tariffs set for August 1st could reignite serious supply problems. Countries such as South Korea, Taiwan, and Malaysia, key suppliers to the United States, they're facing proposed tariffs ranging from 25 to 36%. And these would increase import costs and likely trigger delays and shortages across multiple sectors. Now, the semiconductor industry remains highly fragile due to a combination of past factory shutdowns, extreme weather events, and ongoing geopolitical tensions. Severe droughts in Taiwan, winter storms in Texas, and flooding in Southeast Asia have all disrupted chip production in recent years, underscoring the vulnerability of this global supply chain to climate-related events. These disruptions, along with political instability and trade uncertainty, they have left manufacturers with little room for delay. Even a minor interruption in chip supply can slow down entire industries, from car manufacturing to consumer electronics. And as inventories tighten, production backlogs, it grows, and costs begin to climb even faster than consumers realize. So now is the time to consider what electronics parts or tools that you rely on or will need in the immediate future. Buying ahead could help you avoid price spikes and product shortages later this year. Construction and lumber materials, Canada. Canadian lumber remains a key part of the United States construction and home improvement market. It is widely used in framing, roofing, fencing, and other essential building applications. A 35% tariff on Canadian imports is set to take effect on August 1st, and the market's already reacting. Builders and suppliers have begun buying early to avoid expected shortages and price increases. Lumber prices have always been volatile, but recent years have made that volatility worse. During the pandemic, prices more than tripled due to mill shutdowns and a surge in home renovations. And while prices later dropped, they never fully stabilized. The current tariff threat is adding pressure once again, especially as demand for housing and repairs continues to grow. Homeowners and contractors will likely feel the impact soon. Material costs, they're expected to rise, and those increases will be passed on through higher prices for construction, remodeling, and repairs to you, the consumer. Even basic items like plywood, fencing panels, or siding, they may become more expensive or more challenging to find. If you're planning a project, now's the time to take action. Buying needed materials or finishing work before August could help save you money and help you avoid delays. And with demand high and supply under strain, the window to prepare is closing fast. The uncertainty around tariffs and supply chain disruptions, it can feel overwhelming, but knowledge empowers action. By identifying the key items most at risk and preparing now, you're actually taking critical steps toward protecting yourself and your family. Remember, preparedness, it's not about fear, it's about foresight. Even small efforts that you take today, from stocking up on essentials to planning ahead, it builds resilience and it brings peace of mind tomorrow. And look, you're not alone. This community is here to help guide you through uncertain times. So stay informed, prepare calmly, and take steady, manageable steps each day. You've got this. These 7 items that we covered were chosen from the many items likely to experience tariff hikes on August 1st because they may have the most direct impact on daily life. And they offer few reliable substitutes and are already under pressure from fragile supply chains. Any disruption, even caused by uncertainty alone, is likely to be felt quickly and sharply by consumers. Among all the potential disruptions, your food supply deserves the closest attention, which is why I put that first in this video. Now, the best way to protect yourself from supply disruptions, price spikes, and panic buying is to keep food stored at home. Become comfortable cooking with basic ingredients and rely more on local sources rather than distant supply chains and restaurants. Because food is so important, I would encourage you to watch a couple of videos I'm going to post here on the side of the screen. One is how to easily build a 3-week emergency food supply and how to stockpile food on a budget. Check out those 2 videos. Don't make the mistake of assuming your grocery store shelves will forever be full. I'll link to both of these videos in the comments and description section below, and again here on the side of the screen. As always, stay safe out there.